Okay, so this is a tutorial on how to create a website. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to click on Google and you want to go to your Drive. Once you sign into the suite, you should see your name up here and your icon. And in your Drive, you're going to go over here to New and you're going to create a new folder and you're going to call it Art 6th grade or whatever grade that you're in, 7th or 8th. And you click on Create. That should show that folder in here. In the Drive, you want to add things that you take pictures of to this folder. And then when you add things to your website, it'll always be in here so that you can pull things from that folder in the Drive. And you'll see when you start the sites how that's created. Okay, for part 2, you're going to start a Google site. So go to where it says Google Apps and scroll down to where it says Sites. Click on that. In this tab, to the far left, you'll see a red rectangle that says Create. Click on that and choose In New Sites. Do not click In Classic Sites. When you click on In New Sites, it will take you to a new tab that will say Untitled. This is the third part. You should see Untitled Site at the top. It says Your Page Title in the middle on the header. And off to the right, you have options over here. This is how we add content to the website. First thing you're going to do is in the top left, name your site document by calling it your name, art portfolio. When you click off of that, it should show up in the corner of every page. Secondly, you're going to name the page title, the same thing you just named your website. Inside this text box. I can drag the text box wider so that all the text fits. And anytime I click on the text box, it's going to give me an option to center the text. I could change it to bold. And just like in Word or Google Docs, I have to highlight the text if I want to change it. The third part is you want to go immediately and publish this. Here in the web address, I'm going to type in a URL and sometimes you'll see whatever you type in there may be taken. So you'll have to maybe add a dash here and there, make sure that you're getting a URL that no one else has. After you have a good URL here, you're going to click Publish. That is going to make the site live. To view the site not in edit mode, next to the Publish square or rectangle, you'll see a drop-down menu which is called Publish Options. When you click on this, you're going to scroll down to View Published Site, which is the third option. When you view the View Published Site, you should see how everyone else will see your site without them having access to it. So right now, the only thing we've changed is Mr. B's art portfolio in the corner and Mr. B's art portfolio as the title of the site. When you want to edit this page, down in the bottom right-hand corner is a little icon that has a pencil with an eraser. When you click on this icon, it will go back to your edit mode. Once in edit mode, you can add more content. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the header. This is our home page, so you should see in Pages. You click on the second tab next to Insert, you'll see that the home icon will appear. In our home page, we're going to change the background image to something that has to do with the site. In this case, a portfolio. You can either upload from your computer something you've saved, or I like to go and select an image just by doing a search for something art related. If I type in the word art, it's going to give me a bunch of images that will go along with that keyword. In which case, I find an image that I'd like to use, which are all public domain images, which are free to use and do not charge you anything. I click on the image I want to add and click on where it says select. Once I've gone and added an image, it will adjust it into the background of the header so that it can be easily read. You'll see that it's been applied to this background. And anytime I add any more pages to this website, it will apply this same theme on every page unless I change it. You are then going to go down to this area down here. We're going to add a text box. Anytime you want to add text, you're going to click on text box and it is going to drop it in the next section below the header. Here, I'm going to be typing up an explanation of my site. So here I'm putting, this is a collection of art, um, Perkiomen Valley Middle School, East, from 2020 to 2023. I can highlight that text, center it, make it bold. I can change the type of text, whether it be a title or a heading or a subheading, which will change the size of the text. I'm going to set mine to title because I want to grab everyone's attention. And anytime I do a change, I want to make sure that I click publish. What you're going to see on this page is a draft with your changes and the way that the page looked up before you added the other things. When you're happy with that layout, you want to click publish again. And it's going to basically save over or replace what you had before. What I would suggest you do at this point in Editor is make sure that you bookmark your site. You'll see that when you click Edit or Bookmark, you'll see a name, which is the name of your site, and I suggest you put it in your Bookmarks bar, which will show up here at the top of your browser. When you click Done, it should show up in your other bookmarks when I go to that folder. So if I scroll all the way down, you should see Mr. B's portfolio, which will be in this list where I bookmarked something. You can also, if you ever get lost, go to these three little dots, which are controls for Google Chrome. Click on that and go to your history. You'll see recently closed tabs in this list underneath recently closed. If the site that you're looking for isn't in here, do Control H or click on your history, which will open a tab and show you a recording of all the tabs that you've opened and closed while on your Chromebook. This is helpful for making sure that I find the website that I just changed. You'll see over here to the right, I added a bookmark, so it's recording all the things that I do in Google, which is awesome. So I'll go back to my portfolio now, and I'm going to make sure that I add some more content. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more content. So I'm going to click on Pages, and down here where the plus sign is, when I want to add a new page, I click on this, and I name it something that has to do with what I'm doing in art. In sixth grade, you start with sketchbooks assignment. So if I create a page that's called sketchbooks, I'm going to click done, and that's going to add a page to underneath my home page. You'll see that the background is the same as the home page, but if I go to change image and select image, I can do a search for the word sketchbooks. And apply that image to the background by selecting it, and it'll add it to the background. You want to make each page individual to whatever we're putting on it. Now, for the interesting part, if I have a sketchbook assignment that needs to go down here below the header, I'm going to insert an image from my drive. In that first step, we created a folder in our drive that was called Art 6th Grade. So I'm going to go and I'm going to find that folder. In this case, I'm going to pick my artwork. And I'm going to choose a sketchbook assignment that I did. And I'm going to drop that image into my site. It's going to drop that image in there. You can see that from here. You can crop, you can uncrop, you can insert a link to the actual image. You can delete that. Or there's more editing options where you can add text, add a caption. I like to add a caption underneath, which basically says what the title of the artwork is and what medium I used, and usually the date. That way I keep a recording of everything that I've drawn, and I know the dates and like when everything was happening. Remember that when you add new content, that you want to click publish so that it makes those changes to your site. See, this is the old version to the right, the new version on the left. Click publish every time you make a change. If I close this out and I go back to the content, I can always go back to my pages, and if I want to change the home screen, I need to click on the home screen so that it takes me back to the original spot. You can also go to themes. If I click on this and I go to themes, these are preloaded themes created by Google Sites. If I click on a theme, it will apply it to every page. The font style you can change it to heavy. You can change colors if you don't like that. If you go to the color picker, you can choose a color that is more suited towards you or what you're trying to do with your site. And always make sure that you click publish so that it's replacing the new version instead of the old version. It's always also going to save it in your drive, so that's really cool. All right, so at this point, you have the basic things set up for your website. And now it's just a matter of personalizing everything that you want on the site. One of the fun things to do now is to actually go and insert content. So if I go down into this section here and I click on layouts, layouts will give me different options about how I can add things in there. You'll see in this layout there is a spot for a picture. You can type to edit text in this. The more I click on this, the more options you can see. I can put a really big image over here to the right. Maybe I did a bunch of artwork that had a bunch of steps, and I have two small pictures and then the final picture. That would be a way that I could do that. I can also go down here to collapsible text. I could do a table of contents, so I can show people what's on my site. I can do an image carousel, and you can insert images by clicking Add Image. You can upload an image that you have on your computer. So if this is something that I've created here, I can open that and add it. And I can keep adding those images, which will create a carousel. If I hold down the control button and I click on multiple images, it will allow me to add more images than one at a time. So once I'm done and I click insert, it's going to create a carousel of images that will kind of cycle through when I actually go to view the site. So when I click on publish, you can also move this over to the center. When I click publish, that is going to replace the old version. And then what I'd like to do is I want to make sure I take a look at the publish site so I can see what everyone else is seeing after I publish it. You'll see it has these little dots here, or you can have people click on this so they can take a look at the images you put in there, or they can click on the little dots so they can see how many images you've added into there. Now, these aren't my personal pieces of art, so I wouldn't actually add those in there. But just to give you an example, that's what you could do. Anytime you make a mistake or you want to take something out, you're just going to click on the entire box, and you'll see off to the left there are some options about changing the section background. If you want to duplicate it so you like something, you can make more than one. Or if you just click on delete this section, it will get rid of the entire thing. This is helpful if you are just kind of playing around or you added a bunch of stuff but you're not sure that you want it. So make sure that you click publish so it's replacing the new version, the old version with the new version. You can also include different kinds of buttons, dividers, videos from YouTube, calendars, maps, things from your Google Docs, Google Slides, anything from a Google Sheet or Google Form. And you can also do charts, which is pretty cool. So that is the basis of creating your own site in Google Sites. And hope you have fun with it and create your own personal website.